Yeah, the flowers will be fresher. You can, of course, order them weeks in advance if you choose, Brian.
I go to Kroger's and they
Kroger's.
always have them. Yeah,
I don't know if you can see this, but I have changed your name placard. It says Brian Matthews appreciates cookies most of the time.
that's true. I do. I mean, I would say almost all the time. Yeah.
You were giving it hell yesterday, and I was like, dude, Kathy buys that stuff with her own money. You know that?
Well, I wasn't meaning to like diss on those cookies. I didn't even bring them up. I was talking about the halftime
Oh, you
uh,
mean at the football game?
ice cream. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Um,
somebody else brought up the cookies,
I
but then I got dragged into it.
so you were upstairs last night, and and then Benny was shooting on the sideline, so I was in the media center, so it was me and Brandon
Oh,
watching the
fun.
game. So that was good times. Yeah, Brandon Marcello of Auburn 24/7. Apparently, he was telling me that they're going to have a bunch of softball coverage today. All right, cool.
Oh, really? After I was dissing on softball? Are you serious?
Be nice, be nice. Anyway,
Funny.
today we're going to talk a little bit about whatever happened yesterday, last night inside the Auburn Arena. Yeah. That was bad, Brian.
It was.
That was bad.
That was an ugly loss, and if they have some more ugly losses, they could bounce themselves right out of the tournament. That would not be good.
No, it would not be good. And I mean, if we're being real with each other here, I think Bruce got out coached last night again. Kermit.
Yeah, it happens. I think Ole Miss's
Sure it does.
players deserve credit for taking the coach's plan and execute it to perfection.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
but damn. I mean, dang. I mean, if you want to, yeah, I hear you. I mean, but just a level here. Missing one little level here. One little level. Yeah. Oh, that one. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Got it. All right. We good. 60-55. Not a good night for Jared. Not a good night for Bryce. Not a good night for anybody except for Chum. And Samir. Bruce said afterward it was the first one I thought we let get away. I guess he means just like mismanaged or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and start the show.
All right. So are we starting the rundown or the live stream?
This is going to be the actual show.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like our usual thing. Hi-yo! Hello again, and welcome to the AuburnSports.com rundown presented by Voodoo Wing Company. This right here, this very show, is your favorite podcast for all things Auburn. And maybe a few SEC schools when they're in need of gentle disparagement, and I hate to say it, but the Auburn Tigers. Ay.
Yeah. Ouch.
Auburn took one on the chin last night in more ways than one against the hated Ole Miss Rebels, and wow. That was not pretty, Brian Matthews.
No, that was an ugly loss for Auburn. They can't afford to have many of those. I mean, they're going on the road to Vanderbilt. That's a team they should beat on the road. They can't afford to lose up there. So, this is a team that has really high expectations. I was expecting to compete for the SEC championship. That's not going to happen, although there's still an SEC tournament to be played at here in another month.
Yeah.
And they're expected to make a better run in the NCAA tournament than they did last year. And I'm not sure this team is capable of doing that either right now.
Wow. Here's negative Brian is back.
I'm just trying to be
Hate
real.
and be Matt. So, no, that's what it is. Like, Valentine's Day has got you all warm and fuzzy.
I'm excited about Valentine's Day. I'm gonna get my lovely wife Yvonne some flowers, and my two daughters some flowers, and my
Yeah.
son maybe get him some candy or some chocolates or something.
Those of you who are listening on the stream know that Brian is not big on getting flowers ahead of time. He likes to kind of pick them up locally.
Day
of.
Yes.
Because it makes them fresher. And I was trying to tell
I can give them in person. It's not like you're giving them somebody else is bringing them to them. I'm giving them in person.
Oh, that's absolutely true. But you can go to the florist and pick them up too.
I'd rather go to Kroger's and pick them out and make my own little thing.
Oh my. Okay, Brian. There's Mr. Romantic right there. Today is February
Absolutely.
February 14th in the year of 2019. This is episode number 369 of this fine program. And you are listening on whatever you're listening to on, and you're watching whatever you're watching on YouTube if you're watching it live. Hey now. My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of AuburnSports.com, and I'm joined as always, as you've already heard, by Mr. Bryan Matthews, capital B, capital M, our ace team reporter, and a man who everyone from the wall all the way to Dragonstone knows is a doer of many things. What up, B-Matt?
Well, I was just looking at a stat that our friend Jerry Hennon on Twitter put up. He said, other than
your
Okeke
friend
and Spencer, I hope I said his last name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. Auburn was 3 of 18 from 2. That's not very good.
Is that
That's
true?
inside the arc.
I don't think that's right.
Other than Okeke and Spencer, 3 of 18
gotcha.
from 2.
Okay.
2.
Yeah. Other than the two guys that shot well inside, yeah, they didn't shoot well inside. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, they got to do better than that.
Jerry Hennon may be your friend, but he's not my friend. I promise
really?
you that. No, he's one of my least favorite people in the Auburn sphere.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's a clown with big floppy red shoes and a honk horn that you can just. And I've told him that. I've told him that. So I've been upfront with him how I feel about him. He knows.
Okay.
He used to run a blog called Joe Cribb's Car Wash. He was quite douchey. Okay.
I didn't mean to bring it up.
No, you're good. It's not a big deal.
I just like to credit people for when they put up stuff instead of trying to steal it.
That's a blog beef from the 2000s.
Wow.
The rundown
things for a long time, man.
Another place you can get a lot of beef, and I do mean heft and deliciousness, is Voodoo Wing Company. You can get those wings. My goodness, they taste good. You can also get their Sidewinder fries, B-Matt, which I know you love so much. Also, the nanner pudding.
I try to eat them carefully, not too many. I got to watch my figure.
You got to watch your figure. I know. It's great. And I realized recently you used to play softball when you were at ADM. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. The AuburnSports.com softball team won the league one year back in the day.
Wow. I can't believe that's actually true.
That is actually true. Yeah. I got a picture somewhere of us in the paper. I don't know what happened.
Ooh, we made the paper. That's big.
Yeah, that was big back in the day.
Yeah, it sure was.
That's how long it's been.
I know. When I started, it mattered. Voodoo Wing Company, anyway, they have these delicious sauces you can choose. Brian tends to like the Voodoo sauce. I tend to like the Cajun Ranch. Ben works his way around, and Jay Lee likes the hot. But you guys wuss out every time we get the bomb out. You go, it's too hot.
It's not that it's too hot. It just doesn't taste anything.
No, it tastes delicious.
There's no flavor.
No, there is a lot of flavor, but it's too hot. It's too many spices or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Anyway, Voodoo Wing Company on College Street, 3/10 of a mile north of the interstate, a little bit north of I-85, as I mentioned, and it's just a little bit north for you seasoned Auburn people to know where the Supper Club once stood. It's just a little bit north of there. The Supper Club is where Jeffrey Lee was once thrown in a trash can, and he damn well deserved it. Brian, we got some things to discuss about basketball. Auburn lost this game last night by a score of 60-55 against the hated Ole Miss Rebels. As mentioned before, that is a season sweep of the series for the Ole Miss Rebels. And at this point, I think we can conclude that Kermit Davis has a pretty good idea of how to scheme up and defeat Bruce Pearl. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, he deserves a lot of credit, and his players deserve a ton of credit because they executed that plan perfectly, and that's not easy to do, especially going on the road, playing against a good team like Auburn in a tough place to play. And, yeah, they were fortunate on some of those late threes that just went in. I mean, they were just fired them up, and they were just like, wow, I mean, they hit 4 or 5 there in the last couple of seconds of the shot clock. I just thought I had no business going in. They were well defended at times, but they made the plays, and they deserve credit. That was a big win for them.
Huge win. They were getting toward the bubble. They were working their way toward the bubble, as Auburn is, and both of those teams needed something to kind of fire them up. And, well, Ole Miss walked away victorious. Let's talk about how this one broke down, Brian. I think any discussion of this team needs to, of that game in particular, needs to center around that last minute. As I recall, let's see, Ole Miss was up 3 with about a minute to go. Auburn got a steal, went down the floor, and Jared Harper jacked up a 3 right away. Missed, rebounded by Ole Miss, and then everybody in the gym was thinking that they were going to foul Ole Miss and put them to the line.
Yeah, and they left about 20 seconds.
Yeah,
clock.
They were just like going to lay down and defend him. They were going to lock up and defend him. And everybody's looking around like, what? You're going
23 seconds actually. They let you go off the clock. That was big. I mean, that you could have had 4 or 5 possessions. If you needed to foul, and maybe 2 or 3.
Let's say 2 or 3. Yeah.
But with half a minute left, though, you can get up and down the court several times and foul and stop the clock. So it wasn't over. But I look at it. Okeke made the 2 free throws. Auburn gets within 3 with 3 minutes left. They get a huge stop the next time down, and then they come back, and Bryce Brown gets a nice look at a nice drive and pull up for a jumper that sort of rimmed out, and then Horace has an easy tip in. Or no, Anthony did, and he just couldn't finish it.
Just missed it completely.
I mean, that happens sometimes. But man, Auburn got unlucky there too, and then Ole Miss goes back down, and they run their offense, and they run the clock, and they drive in and get what looks like a layup, and Okeke had that great block. I mean, came out of nowhere for that block.
Yeah. And
then you're right, Auburn has an opportunity now to tie it or cut it to 1. And then I thought Jared did this in the game that they lost before this one. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, I just thought he shot too soon in the rotation. He just move the ball a little bit, drive in, draw a foul, stop the clock, score some points. You don't have to have a 3 from 25 feet.
That's what BP was saying after the game, that he was hoping Jared was going to take a shot a little closer to the rim instead of just jacking one up from deep. Although, to be fair, that is kind of Harper's game, right? I mean, he likes to take those deep threes early in the shot clock.
Yes. Yeah, yes, that's true. And it's easy to, we would have been saying, oh, what a great shot by him if it had dropped.
It's true.
Yeah, you got, at that time you had a minute, I think around a minute left or so. He's done so good early in the season, late in games at driving and scoring or drawing fouls and making free throws and stopping the clock. I just wish you'd get back to that a little bit more.
Yeah. It begs a bigger question, though, Bryan, which is, Jared, I would not say he's the most disciplined leader of an offense. We just talked about how he tends to shoot threes early in the shot clock, deep ones, contested ones. And there's times where you think Auburn needs to reset, calm down, get itself reoriented to go in and make a offensive on the rim. And Jared doesn't do that. He doesn't really collect the team like that. This is something that's been going on his whole career. Yeah, and I think a lot of people in the bunker wonder, why doesn't BP intervene and say, dude, we got to change this a little bit. You got to be more of a leader rather than a shot taker. Yeah. Why doesn't he do that?
I don't know. That's a good question. And maybe Jared's just not responding if he is doing that more. But Jared is a junior. He's a veteran now. He's played in so many games. He should have better control of this team. 6 turnovers at home, coming off a poor performance, a few nights earlier. Just and the thing about Auburn's offense, Ole Miss is playing really good defense, but they were extending. They were covering Auburn well beyond the 3-point line, covered them closely. How many times in that game did Auburn do a backdoor cut and get an easy layup? How many times did they set a really good screen and come off that screen and make a play? I know they were doing a good job switching, but you can still make plays like that, right?
They were up in their face, though. Ole Miss was allocating a lot of resources toward pressuring Jared and Bryce.
Well, that opens other things up when they do that.
You're right, but they have to get the ball moved around first. Right. And Jared couldn't even really do that. He had 6 turnovers and really did not move the ball effectively all night.
Well, Auburn's offense a lot of the night was making 1 or 2 passes and then jacking up the shot or driving and making some crazy shot or trying to make some crazy shot or crazy pass. It just was totally out of sorts. Yep. They've got to learn to move the ball more.
They need to be more disciplined, I think, on the offensive end.
I agree.
But you and I have been saying this since last year, because even going back, I remember the game at Florida last year. Jared had a terrible game, and they lost. And we were both like, can this team win when Jared has an off night? And the answer is no. And even Bruce was lamenting that fact last night.
Yeah.
So he said, I can't remember a time where we won a game where Jared had a bad game. It can't be done.
No, maybe last year, if Jared has a bad game, and maybe I go back and look, maybe if Mustafa and Bryce, and Chuma all have good games. Maybe they can make up for it. But Auburn just doesn't have enough firepower to make up for it in this year's team. Not
Just don't
enough
have it.
offensive firepower.
They last night there was a time when they were pressuring and overplaying Jared and Bryce where they started kind of going to Samir a little bit. And I thought, here we go. Samir's going to start showing some of that ball handling, that driving that we thought he had in him. And, dude, he got stuffed on 2 drives.
Yeah.
He fumbled a ball away once, and it was like, he's not going to answer that problem.
3 points, 3 rebounds, 28 minutes.
I know.
Dunbar, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 turnovers in 60 minutes. That's your 3 position for Auburn.
Well, I thought
And sometimes they played a little 2, too, I guess.
Dunbar was good his first couple shifts. I thought he was playing really spirited basketball, doing a good job, and I thought his night started to tail off after that. It's weird to think Auburn is so devoid of talent at the 3, and again, it goes back to something we talked about the other day. Yeah, they miss Mustafa. They do.
Yeah, well, and maybe they thought they had better play at that position. It's a position, if you look at the way that Bruce runs his team and recruits, it should be a position of strength for Auburn just about every year. I mean, that should be a really valuable tool, his offense. Because he's going to get a 3 that can shoot and do a lot of different things, and it just hasn't worked out.
Just hadn't worked out. He should have known that Mustafa was leaving. Dude, but Mustafa wasn't staying here more than 2 years.
I think, and me and you both thought that they had the replacement set up. And we also thought that he might bring some things to Auburn that Auburn could use and be better at that position. And we were way wrong on that, and maybe Pearl and his staff thought the same.
He was a great driver at VCU. He drove a bunch. He was one of the national leaders in free throws. I mean, getting to the line. He was great at that. And now it's like he can't even do it. And then Bruce was talking the other day about we need to get Samir stronger and more explosive. And I'm like, he's been here almost 2 years.
Purefoy got 7 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds.
Well, he sure got some people rustled with his post after the game where he said, can't wait for April, which people interpreted him as getting his ass out of Auburn. But he later clarified and said it was because he has a child on the way and the child is due in April. And seemed also almost befuddled why people would think that he meant he was going to be leaving.
Yeah.
Young kids, man, what are you going to do? I'm glad there wasn't social media when you and I were young. I would have said a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, me too.
No doubt about that. Somebody who didn't do a bunch of dumb shit last night was Chuma Okeke. He had himself a game. Really the only person at Auburn that had himself a game.
I mean, he had like an SEC Player of the Week game.
Yeah, 23 points on 8 of 11, shooting 11 rebounds.
Yeah.
Heck of a game.
He's really good. I mean, he's really, really good right now. I mean, if the guards were holding up their end, Auburn and the big men were rebounding and defending better, this is a good team. Because he's into his own now. This is the Okeke we would see. This is the NBA draft prospect, the most talented player. Starting to be more assertive. It is. It's not good enough right now.
Hold on, your connection's messed up, so we got to wait for it to get better. I'll just edit this out of the show. For those of you who are watching on the stream, this is kind of how live TV works. Sometimes things get a little messed up. We'll get it tightened up here in just a second. It's a good point, though. Chuma did have a all-SEC type of performance. Some people in the bunker were wondering, well, why don't they run the offense through Chuma all the time? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't. It worked last night because Ole Miss runs that zone, and it makes sense to have somebody sitting at the free throw line that you can dump into and let them administrate it. I mean, he was perfect for that, and he played it to a T. But most teams don't do that. Most teams play man, and it's tougher to get the ball to Chuma. I don't know if those guards want to take the time to make that happen as consistently as it needs to happen, if that makes sense. All right, connection cleared up. You want to go? You want to do your Chuma rant again?
Well, I mean, Chuma is coming to his own. I mean, he really is. He's the player that we thought he was going to be. He's scoring. He's being more assertive. He's rebounding. He's doing a lot of little things really good. I mean, if the guards were holding up their end and Auburn's bigs were playing defense and rebounding, this could be a really, really good team right now. But it just hasn't all come together.
Yeah, I don't think the team's as foobar as some people want to say on the bunker, but it definitely it needs help. It needs something, and I just don't know how you solve it. I think the solution is Jared needs to chill out and put more of an emphasis on administrating the offense. I've never really seen it consistently from him, and I don't know if Bruce is ever. First of all, if he's going to tell him that because he hasn't done it to this point, and if Jared can even do that. And this idea of Jared going to the NBA and he's going to do this, that, and the other thing. I mean, he's NBA point guards absolutely have to be able to run some stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think they've got to be more consistent, especially Jared Harper. But I also think Auburn's big has got to play better. I mean, Horace Spencer, 1 rebound in 16 minutes.
That's impossible.
Austin Wiley, 1 rebound in 8 minutes. I mean, Mac was better, but he got 0 points, 0 for 4, 5 rebounds in 15 minutes. From your 3 5s or 2 5s and a 4.5, that's just not good enough.
No.
And we're talking about a senior, a junior, and a junior. We're not talking about some skinny freshman.
It's not good enough. You're right.
Yeah.
And these are Bruce's guys.
Yeah.
And they're just not quite there. I think they can still get this thing turned around. And I don't think it's a bad team. But losing this game to Ole Miss puts them in a hole. Absolutely. Puts them in a big hole.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to dig their way out by winning some games on the road. And that starts this weekend, B-Man.
Vanderbilt. That is the game they've got to win. And they don't just need to win. They need to go up there and play good. This team needs some confidence right now. They weren't playing with a lot of flair, a lot of, you didn't see a lot of celebrations, I know they're behind most of the game, right? So there wasn't reason to. They shot terribly, but still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of confidence. It took Bruce Pearl waving his arms on the bench to get the crowd fired up. So,
Yeah, the crowds have been tailing off a little bit. I mean, it's not like they're not there, but it ain't packed to capacity like it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you kind of feel the energy slipping away a little bit. And this team's got to dig down.
Students did not fill out the student section last night, which is really surprising to me.
Yeah, considering the stuff that Pearl does to try to get people going, He was just rolling through the student act the other day, over at Haley Center, I should say. And just glad handing with everybody, seeing what's up.
So at Vanderbilt, then next Wednesday, home against Arkansas. Those are 2 very winnable games for Auburn.
No doubt.
Then they go on the road to Kentucky and Georgia.
They've got to win 3 of those.
Yeah, and Georgia on the road is a winnable game. Another game that Auburn will probably be favored in. I mean,
Absolutely.
Vanderbilt and Georgia are an opportunity for Auburn to pick up 2 road wins, but if they play like they did last night, they're going to lose both of them.
So they're really tough games. They still got home against Tennessee as the season finale, regular season finale. That's going to be obviously an uphill battle considering how good Tennessee is. And then at Kentucky on the February the 23rd. So if they can lose those 2 and still be okay, but
at
they got to win the
Alabama,
rest
March 5th. It's going to be a tough game. That's always a tough game.
Yes, they always have trouble at Alabama.
Yeah, and Alabama's long, and they've got some athletes, and they usually shoot a lot better and play much better at home.
If you go steal one at Vanderbilt this weekend and you hold serve against Arkansas at home, Mississippi State at home, you got a shot. I think they still have a good shot to get in the NCAA tournament. But
yeah, it's right there in front of them. They can do it. They just got to play better.
There's just not much room for error now, and they should have beaten Ole Miss last night. Should have beaten Ole Miss last night. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they just got to – Jared Harper has got to be able to deal with that pressure, and so does Bryce. You're talking about 2 guys that have been playing at Auburn for a really long time, have logged tons of minutes. You've got to be able to handle the pressure like that. When they come at you, you've got to be able to work your way out of it.
Yeah, you think Vanderbilt's going to do that?
Well, yeah. I don't know if they have the personnel to do it.
I don't know either, right? I don't know. I haven't watched Vanderbilt all season, so I don't really know much about them. I just know they're having a rough time of it. That game's at 11 a.m., by the way.
I know. Their best player's out for the season. It was their freshman point guard, so, I mean, they're hurting. Yeah, Vanderbilt is. 11 a.m., yeah, tough. I was going to go to that game, but at this point, probably not as much, maybe. Anyway, we know Kentucky has the guards to mess up Auburn. And that's the game. I think the home game against Kentucky is the one that we're going to look back on and say, ay. Because they had that one in a good spot, too. Every time, dude. Every time your connection goes wonky, we lose this right here.
Hmm.
Stinks. There it goes again. There it goes again. Dadgummit. Do the best we can. Well, anyway, tough night for Auburn. And it's one that, if you saw the post-game video we have posted on the bunker, Pearl was really despondent after that one. And you don't see that often. He was down. So,
Well, his team was never able to make that adjustment offensively. I mean, Ole Miss just pretty much did him like that from one through, the final minute of the game.
yeah, not his best coaching night, that's for sure. I do want to move on a little bit. You've got a story up on the front of auburnsports.com today about Auburn's batting lineup for baseball. And you mentioned in there they've got a lot of bats coming back. They had 4 freshman All-Americans last year. Obviously, they have plenty of dudes. Do you think this is going to be a team that's going to challenge for the SEC dominance in terms of scoring runs and swatting homers?
Yeah, and I'd forgotten they led the SEC in scoring last year, and that was with a bunch of freshmen providing a lot of it. So, yeah, I think they've got a chance to hit more home runs and score more runs this year. The 73 home runs was the most since that 2010 team hit over 100.
Yeah.
So that was impressive in its own. But, a guy like Edouard Julien, if he continues what he did, I think he set or tied a freshman record last year with 17 home runs. If he keeps that up, he could be Auburn's all-time home run leader. He'd have to hit over 20 this season, but it can be done. Him and Stephen Williams are special left-handed bats in that lineup. They've added a big right-handed stick in Rankin Woley from junior college who put up some monster numbers last year. Of course, Will Holland is an All-American who can hit, for power, run the bases, hit doubles and triples. Judd Ward will be an important player to see if he can step up as a sophomore and be that leadoff guy and that table setter up top. And, we'll see if Connor Davis can, be healthy enough and be a little bit more consistent at the plate and maybe provide a little bit more pop there at the bottom part of the order. And, you got a couple of freshmen, Ryan Bliss and Casey Howe. I don't think they're going to be freshman All-Americans necessarily, maybe Ryan. But I think they have a lot of talent, and they should be exciting players to watch, too.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of a true freshman being your leadoff hitter, but if he indeed has some Malin Ken ability.
Judge a sophomore.
Like I said, Judge a sophomore, of course.
He started about a third or maybe about a third of the games last year.
I was getting into softball late in the season, so I lost that. My bad.
I hear you.
All right, so baseball opens the season this weekend at home against Georgia Southern. Those games are at 6 o'clock on Friday, 2 o'clock on Saturday, and 1 o'clock on Sunday. As a quick reset, softball is going to have their home opener tonight against the hated UAB Blazers, 6 o'clock at the Jane. And they have a tournament against a bunch of nobodies at home this weekend as well.
Should be exciting.
They had a couple bad losses last weekend to teams that they had no business losing to. So
Missouri State and
there is concern in the Auburn softball sphere, not in the coaching sphere, but in the observer sphere, that the team may not be that great this year. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, they were a shooting star, JG.
We could write a song about it.
We could write a song about the shooting stars.
We could get Bad Company to sing it, I think.
We could. That'd be a good choice, I think.
I think it'd be a great choice. All right, so that is about all we've got today. I do have a few shout-outs I want to mention. We had some good stuff.
Good for you.
We had some good stuff yesterday. G Lane starts a thread. Dickerson OT for FSU enters name in transfer portal. Is he worth a look? He's their best OL. J Bell says, even if a kid just legally changed his name to offensive tackle, he's worth a look for this program. Agreed completely, J Bell. If this person's ever walked 1 minute as an offensive tackle, they need to take a look at him. Roadrunner starts a thread. Our friend Roadrunner says, I blame this half on the mods for pulling down the boob job thread. That deletion was un-American, and clearly our offense is protesting during the game last night. Oh, that's not good. B-Matt, you there? Oh, wow. I tend to think that we've lost Bryan, which is really something. I haven't had that happen in a long time. Oh, he's kind of back. Sort of. I mean, I've kind of got you. Not really.
Mm. Yeah, it's charter. I can tell
You're back
they're
now.
having issues.
Are they saying? Did they say that?
No, I can just look at my modem. It's acting crazy.
All right, we'll try to finish this bad boy out and be on with it. How do you feel about that?
I
Oh,
feel good about it. Oh, there we go. Should
those
be
of you on
good
the
now.
stream, you guys know how it goes. This is live TV when
Yeah.
stuff gets messed up a little bit. Are they doing stuff in your neighborhood or something?
They're doing a bunch of construction down Donahue. There's 2 new neighborhoods going in, so
Got it.
it's a mess.
Gotcha. All right, so Roadrunner, our friend Roadrunner starts a thread. I blame this half, it was during the basketball game, on the mods for pulling down the boob job thread. We mentioned that yesterday on the show. Luke 21 was, yeah, you go back and listen to that show if you want to. He said that deletion was un-American, and clearly our offense is protesting. David Hasselhoff says, I'm so appreciative of that thread. Next time Tits is bitching me out, I'm going to proclaim, at least I didn't post your big natties on the bunk bunk. Spread Attack AU says, I've got the screeny, if need be, to bring us back. Way to think ahead.
Yeah.
Spread Attack.
Well, I just looked at it as a scientific thing, I mean, we got to learn about surgery and the human body. I mean, there's a lot of important stuff in that post.
I was thinking, Bryan, that maybe at 50 years old you probably knew about boobs, but maybe not. I never know.
I mean, I'm always trying to learn new things, JG.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. We always got to be learners, right?
That's right.
Anyway, good stuff there, guys. And Spread Attack, that's really nice of you. That's nice of you to keep the pictures just to make sure that somebody later on, we could use that to maybe rally the team, or alternatively to show a member who hadn't had a chance to see them. That's really nice.
Maybe the basketball team could use it. They could get them fired up.
Maybe. They seem more like leg men to me, or an ass man, but whatever.
Yeah,
I do want to give a shout out before we go to our friends at Voodoo Wing Company. Jan, Michael, Jenna, the whole crew, Marge, do an awesome job there. And if you haven't been there, you need to go. Voodoo Wing Company there on College Street in Auburn. Also, if you're in the market for a new or used Toyota, Lynch Toyota of Auburn is definitely your spot. Those guys are awesome out there. Paul Brockwell's the best GM in the business. Kenny's my guy on the floor. And there's a lot of good things going on at Lynch Toyota of Auburn, so check them out for sure. They're on the other side of the interstate off College Street. To our awesome subscribers at auburnsports.com, thank you very much for being part of what we do here at the site. We could not do this without you, and God bless you guys for sticking with us through all these years. Back when BMAT was a pup and getting us started, and a lot of you guys have stuck it out the whole way, and we thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, $8.25 a month gets you access to the greatest message board in the history of College World. Yeah, I said that, College World. And all the stuff Bryan writes, the stuff Jeffrey writes, the stuff Benny writes, and whatever I'm bringing too. So, guys, until we see you again a little bit later in the week, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why my dog's barking. Shut up!
Maybe you saw a kitty cat.
All right, B-Matt. That was a fine show, except for the interruptions, I guess. I don't know what the deal with Charter is.
Charter can kiss my ass.
Booty, yeah. All right, then. So we will reconvene at some point in the future. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know.
Tomorrow, yeah, maybe. It's probably not worth it.
For the Vanderbilt game?
No, I meant like tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah, I know. And kind of get the weekend set with the Vanderbilt game.
Okay, well, I'm down for whatever, bro.
All right, maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Also, I'm wearing my Boca Juniors jersey today.
Nice.
Do you have a Boca Juniors jersey?
I do not.
You know anybody who plays for Boca Juniors?
I have no idea even who that is.
Oh, man. You call yourself a soccer fan. Jeez.
I got a lot to learn.
All right, bro.
I'm still learning.
You keep it real.
You too,
and to
man.
our viewers out there, thanks for watching. Y'all be good. See ya.
Peace.